Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So I have two major topics that you guys are watching or requesting or talking about. What happens to the narcissist in old age, and what today's video is about is why does the narcissist hoover if they're with a new supply? So when does it happen? It can happen without a break in time. It can happen over months or years, weeks, days, years, decades. But the narcissist likes to come back. So usually in a healthy relationship, you're committed to the new person, or they should have stayed with you. But narcissists are different. They're seeking supply. So when the narcissist is low on supply, they'll hoover you. And there's this really interesting thing that I heard is it's called thought supply. So the narcissist doesn't even have to see you. So sometimes when they hoover, if we're like, yeah, I was thinking about you too, they might just want to hear, yeah, I was thinking about you too. I miss you so much and the great times, and you're such a great person. I wish we were still together. Whatever we're going to say, we're going to stroke their ego. And then they're like, cool, I'm good for a while. And then when we reach out, they know that we're reaching out because we're thinking about them. That's what they love. So if they reply to us, that might stop the conversation, or it might put them at risk where we don't reply. Narcissists don't have real high self-esteem. So if you notice, they're not really good at conversations. They don't really get deep on things, especially through text. If you guys can comment below, how, how did they handle texting? Because at first it seems like you're having a conversation and it abruptly stops, or they give you one word answers, or they directly don't answer. That's what my second one did, and it drove me crazy, where you're like, I'm just trying to ask a question. You cannot ask them a question. So we think that they're coming back because they miss us. They're coming back for us to stroke their ego. So there's never enough supply for the narcissist. So when they're having good times, they're soaking that in, but it's not like a forever enough. It's an in the moment enough, or it will have to do until I can get away. Sometimes they might hoover you earlier if they have a way to. Maybe the new supply is around them too much, or narcissists think differently. Like if they can't get the supply right away, they want it quicker. They're not going to say, hey, next December, I was thinking about stopping in town. Sometimes they might, just for a quick fling. But as far as like a relationship, do they want to get back with us? I just watched a video on, Lee Hammock keeps saying, marriage is the finish line. Sometimes it's the baby. Mine was the baby. You get pregnant and they're gone, and then they're dating someone else. Mine had said, I don't want kids. I don't want kids. So who does he date? Somebody with a kid. I'm having his kid and he wants to be with somebody. It's weird how they act. And then he was flirting with me with the new supply in his house. I went to pick up the baby. I did a video where I had to go to the hospital, had him take out my IVs, because the narcissists, they don't like responsibility. Some of them are both of mine were very professional, but they both have ego stroking jobs, we'll just put it that way, where they have some status, power. If you guys could share, it doesn't have to be in detail, but do yours have high status jobs? Not all do, just mine did. I've been with two. But they come back just to see how heartbroken we are, not to fix our broken heart, to kind of like, oh, you were really sad, like, tell me about it. And they don't say those words, but they soak up, where you're like, I just, I cry about you every night and I can't get you out of my head. And they're like, oh, it must be the shit. Or they want a quick fling, or they're scared that the new supply is going to leave them, just to keep, dusting the shelves is basically what they're doing. They put us on a shelf. They also don't want to feel that we can live without them. And that's why a lot of times when you start to get your life together, that's when the narcissist comes back. For one thing, congratulations, guys. You're going to glow up. You're going to achieve more. You're going to have a glow about you, a more confident stature, speech patterns. You're going to get back to being who you are. And the narcissist knows you're a quality person. They also know that you're kind. So if they come back to you, let's say they break up with the new supply, they'll come back because it's already established that you guys had a rapport. It's less grooming that takes place. They don't have to trial and error things. They know your favorite restaurant. They take you out to that. They screw Red Lobster, screw the, I'm just taking, and like a one and done instead of continuing the romance. If when they're with a new supply, it's never enough. They're going to start to see little flaws. They're going to start to have some resentment, some triggers, and they just need that supply. Sometimes it's the thrill of the chase. So as you're backing off, they're going to chase after you, but they don't want to keep you. They'll use you. They might want to keep you to use you, but now that they're with a new supply, be really careful of red flags. You know, oh, we're breaking up, or we called off the wedding, or she's moving out, or whatever. They'll try to hide secrets. You know, so are they, and they can invite you over to their house, which can get confusing. Don't get into a dangerous situation, because maybe he thinks that she's gone for the weekend with her girlfriends, or visiting her parents, or vice versa. It could be male, female. But they will hoover just to see what's going on. Mine wanted to destroy me. My first one. You know, so sometimes they'll talk to you. Let's say you're getting divorced and they're moving on with this new supply. They might try to just, you know, oh, I'm missing you, and I was just kind of, you know, thinking about you, and so where are you working now? You know, I always knew you'd be really good at whatever. They're just trying to get information for your financials, or information, or to try to get, you know, are you dating anybody? Just to get information to put a personal protection order on your new boyfriend or girlfriend to keep them out of your child's life, or whatever it is that they're doing. They are manipulative, or just plain old selfish. So when they come back, it's for their ego stroke. It's to get you ruminating about them. They love that. Like, they love it. So, you know, they'll ghost again. They'll discard again. They'll give you the silent treatment. They'll start breaking plans with you. It's really hard to juggle two different relationships. They don't like to compromise. So it's all going to be one-sided. They're not going to be like, yeah, you know, okay, I understand this is how I can fit you in for your needs, but this is, they'll come through when it's about their needs, you know. But if you're like, you know, crying over some tragedy, they'll be like, yeah, I can't see you. But if they needed you, they expect you to be there. And the narcissist has such a need to fulfill their emptiness. They can't sit still. They have to have supply. And sometimes it's not to be confused that they can't be alone, because maybe they want to show off an antique car. So they're working on that by themselves in the garage, because that's going to impress people. So they can be alone for some time. But, you know, with sexual needs, they're often into porn because it's instant gratification. So they can also come to you for that. Just, you know, the more the merrier. the more people in the harem garage adoring them, the bigger the ego stroke. So they're just kind of checking on their little workers, their little minions, just seeing they're still available, but they're not there to care for us, you know. And it gets confusing sometimes when they sound like they really care. Like, I'm crushed that, you know, whatever they say, you think you're connecting with them, and then they'll ghost you, and then it gets confusing. So you reach out, you're just stroking their ego. And the new supply, like, the narcissist is starting to see the new supply isn't this perfect person. So maybe they're going to start to see, you know, certain traits in you as opposed to them, and they'll go to you for that trait, but they'll stay with the new supply. Now they're wrapped up with this new supply. If they're living together or married, you know, are they going to leave them? They got financial ties now. They got family members who are going to judge the narcissist if they leave. Or, you know, the narcissist doesn't want to take accountability for it. So they'll just avoid disrupting their image. So yeah, they can stay with somebody for a long time if they're getting the supply. Most narcissists cheat, and they can have double lives, triple lives. So pay attention to the red flags, you know. They come back for the thrill of the chase, to confuse you even more, to have you just think, to validate their feelings, like, I'm the shit. I bet she's thinking about me. I bet he's thinking about me. They just want to hear that they're missed. When we want to hear that, we want the connection. We both miss each other. The narcissist is like, do you miss me? You know, what does that give you? They'll, they'll leave you empty handed. And, you know, are they being faithful to the new supply when they do that? Are they somebody that, it's up to you guys, but is that somebody that you can trust? So if you did get back together with them, you might have some trust issues, and mix that with their narcissism. It's going to fall apart. Narcissists don't appreciate us for people, for what's in our heart. And it's a really hard concept. When you're a loving person, you know, I keep using the analogy, like putting cigarettes out on kids. Like, how can somebody do that? Not all narcissists do that, but I'm just saying, a person, and they'll sit there and they'll explain it. It's like, well, the ashtray's across the room and I have arthritis. And you're like, doesn't make sense. Like, we'll never understand their thought processes. It's foreign to us. Like, our words are foreign to them. So, you know, maybe, you know, the new supply, who knows, doesn't look as pretty anymore, put on too much weight or lost too much, or they just want a supply, or you know, during pregnancy, if you're not allowed to have sex because of threatened miscarriage or things like that, you don't know what's going on with the new supply. So they're going to say whatever it is. And, you know, they're not going to say, yeah, my new supply is on bed rest because she's pregnant. Can we kick it? They're going to be like, yeah, she's a bitch and she fucking left. And can I just come over? Will you console me? And then they'll seduce you or whatever happens, but it's for their supply. They do not come back for love. They come back to be loved, to get, you know, there was a reply about how this person had half the house paid for and was in financial ruins down to the last dime by the time the narcissist left. And they'll take you for all you have. Some narcissists just subconsciously do mean things. Some of them are very calculating to where they know exactly what they're doing. There's others, they can kind of look back like, yeah, I guess that was kind of jerky. But it's fleeting and they don't try to change. So they'll come back. It could be decades from now. That's why you shouldn't wait around for it. And you should also think about, like, this person left you high and dry. This person didn't want to work through things. This person was mean to you or dismissive towards you. They're doing the same thing to the new supply. And if you guys were ever married to a narcissist, can you comment below, or had a baby with one? When was the finish line with you guys? Help others validate for them that, we were all new supply at one time. And, how long was the honeymoon phase? What was it? Like Lee Hammock says, the marriage or the baby was the finish line. And that's when they did a 360, 180, 360, how about 180? They turn halfway around, turn their back on you. So yeah, narcissists can come back, or they'll do the reverse Hoover, where they go silent. So you can kind of weasel your way back. You make all the moves because they're that cocky and confident that, yeah, I don't have to do shit. You're just gonna come get me. And they make it a challenge. Like, what's this girl? What's this guy gonna do for me? How hard are they gonna try? And it's just ego strokes. And that's their supply. So they get that supply even without talking to us, knowing that we're crying, knowing that we're not moving on. That's why it's important to move on. Some of you want revenge. That is the best revenge. And it works out for you. So hopefully you can release that anger to where you don't want revenge, but it's still the best revenge. That you became you. And you will see it'll be affirmation for you of how special you are, the connections you can make with people that want to talk to you, to understand you. And keep telling you guys, go look in the mirror, say 3 wonderful things about you, and believe it. Comment below, tell me something special about you, because I'd like to get to know my viewers better. I've made some really good connections. I'd like to connect with you guys. So I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the day.